We are back talking about one of the most infamous serial killers of all time, Ted Bundy. Now, Bundy's time in court and prison was unlike that of any other serial killer. First, he got married, and then he had a baby.
Many days he was really, really high. His wife, Carol, would take drugs into Ted vaginally, and then he would take the drugs back to his cell rectally.
I'm gonna bring some dope down here sometime. We'll just smoke it, and Valiums and alcohol.
Ted and Carol were the French expression folie à deux. They were crazy together. Carol loved him. She told him that she wanted a child. And somehow they had sex in the prison, and they built this little family on death row. Ted and Carol and little Rosa.
Crime correspondent Melissa Moore and psychiatrist Dr. Joseph are back. How common is it for someone to have sex on death row, Melissa?
Not common at all. This is absolutely ludicrous that was able to happen. I mean, we're looking at obviously many years ago, but what we do know is that guards turned a blind eye. They turned their head and allowed this to happen.
Do we know where his daughter is now? What's Rosa doing?
No, she would be about 37 years old, and we know that she's not going by the name that she was given at birth.
She changed her name.
She changed her name. She's never given an interview. She's probably never wants to be found.
Well, she was 5 when her parents got divorced. She was 7 when her father was executed. So assuming that Rosa knows what kinds of biologic father she had, what kinds of pressure do you think she is feeling right now? I mean, there's a chance she's watching this show, and she knows, I suspect, she's Ted Bundy's daughter.
I feel for Rosa. Imagine living your whole life knowing that you're carrying these genes, that you could potentially become a psychopath yourself, and then worrying about having children because you're afraid that you'll pass those genes on to your children.
Something I know nothing about.
Yes. What would you tell Rosa?
Well,
because she's got to go through the same thing. You've got in opposite directions. You became very public, but Rosa's going the opposite direction, hiding, changing her name, trying to pretend it never happened.
Well, that's what I did initially. I think that's probably hard for people to see now because I'm so vocal about my past, but it came to the point where I was at a crossroads. Like, I'm either, I'm just going to accept this and take the energy of hiding and put it into something better, and that's what caused me to come forward. So for her, I imagine her life is quite bizarre in that sense,
I would think it would be freeing at a certain point not to pretend anymore.
Yeah, I would love to meet with her. What I would say to her, she's not alone. There's people like her, myself example, and Carrie Rawson, the BTK's daughter. She's not alone. And I hope by sharing my story, she knows it's safe to share hers.
Well, I respect Rosa's desire to live a private life that's free of her connection to Ted Bundy. So, Rosie, if you're watching, we wish only the best for you, whatever decision you make. Coming up, this woman says she was raped and almost killed by Ted Bundy. How did she escape? It's next.